You ever scroll Instagram and think, wait, how is everyone affording this? New house, brand new SUV, 2 vacations a year, designer kitchen, and somehow they're just working a normal job. Meanwhile, you're budgeting groceries and wondering if you're behind. Here's the direct answer. Most people aren't affording their lifestyles the way you think they are. They're financing them, stretching for them, subsidizing them, or sacrificing something invisible to maintain them. And once you see the math behind the curtain, it stops being impressive and it starts being sobering. My name is David, and I spend way too much time thinking about money, wealth, and how stewardship actually compounds over time. One who works hard, loves God, tries to be responsible, but still feels like money slips through your hands faster than it grows. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because today we're going to dismantle the illusion, and we're going to do it with numbers. Because houses are the biggest flex. Your friend just bought a $500,000 home, big kitchen, office, maybe a pool. You assume they must be making bank. Here's what most people don't realize. First-time buyers frequently spend 40% or more of gross income on housing. That's before taxes. Let's do real math. If someone makes $80,000 per year, that's about $6,667 per month gross. 40% of that is roughly $2,700 per month. After taxes, their take-home might be closer to $5,300. So $2,700 housing means over 50% of take-home pay is going to the house. That's not wealth. That's leverage. Now you might be thinking, but that's just normal these days. Exactly. Normal does not mean stable. Normal does not mean free. And Scripture is very clear. The borrower is servant to the lender. Look, a beautiful home doesn't automatically equal financial peace. It often equals pressure. Now let's talk about cars, because this is where it gets really interesting. According to Edmunds, 20% of new car payments are over $1,000 per month. 85% of new cars are financed. 40% of Americans have a car payment. Let's say someone makes $60,000 per year. That's about $5,000 gross per month, maybe $4,000 take home. A $1,000 car payment is 25% of take home pay. Before, insurance, gas, maintenance, that SUV in the driveway, it might be absorbing $1,400 to $1,600 per month in total costs. That's nearly $20,000 per year. And here's the psychological twist. Neville Goddard would say, you live from the state you believe you are. If someone believes, I need to look successful, they will finance the image. Abraham Hicks would call that momentum. Joe Dispenza would say the body becomes addicted to the identity reinforcement. Jesus would say, do not store treasure where moth and rust destroy. Translation, don't anchor your identity to depreciating metal. Now let's anchor this in something grounding. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, median full-time income is just over $60,000 before taxes, after federal, state, Social Security, Medicare. That stretches thin fast. Let's say $60,000 income, $1,800 rent, $600 car payment, $400 groceries, $300 insurance, $200 utilities, $300 gas, $300 random expenses. You're already approaching break-even. So when someone appears to be thriving, often they're just allocating aggressively, not earning massively. Now here's the stat that changes everything. Federal Reserve median net worth, under 35, approximately $39,000, 35 to 44, approximately $135,000, 45 to 54, approximately $247,000. Net worth includes home equity and retirement accounts. That $247,000 might not be liquid. It might be $200,000 in home equity, $40,000 in 401k, $7,000 in savings. Balance sheet snapshot. We compare our daily reality to other people's highlight reels. Alan Watts would say, you are mistaking the surface of the wave for the depth of the ocean. Social media amplifies the wave. It hides the undertow. This is where it gets really interesting. According to surveys from savings.com, roughly 50% of parents with adult children provide ongoing financial support. Assistance. Around $1,500 per month. That's $18,000 per year. That alone can fund car payments, vacations, rent, lifestyle upgrades, and half of those parents admit they're sacrificing their own retirement to do it. Look, there is no shame in family support. Multi-generational living is biblical. It's common globally. It can be wise, but it explains the illusion. If someone's rent is subsidized, their income appears higher than it actually functions. Now let's get honest. This isn't just math, it's identity. You see your friend's kitchen, you feel behind, you see their vacation, you feel delayed, you see their car, you feel small. Dispenza would say your nervous system reacts before your logic does. Abraham Hicks would say your focus creates emotional momentum. Neville would say you assume a state of lack. Jesus would say, be careful how you measure, because comparison distorts stewardship. Here's the truth. Most people are juggling, not flourishing. Most lifestyles that look effortless are debt-driven, stress-fueled, or heavily subsidized. Not everyone, but far more than you think. And here's where it turns. You know what rarely gets posted? Maxing out your Roth IRA, avoiding a $1,000 car payment, saving for a down payment, paying off credit cards quietly, building margin. No one posts that, but that's what builds wealth. Now you might be thinking, okay, David, but maybe they're just investing really well. Fair. Let's look at the numbers. About 62% of US adults have money in the stock market in some form. 401k, IRA, brokerage account, mutual funds. That sounds like a lot. More than half the country is investing. But here's what most people don't realize. Participation does not equal meaningful participation. Many people contribute, once open a Roth IRA and never fund it again, bought a meme stock in 2021, have a small 401k match but no additional contributions. Let's do simple math. If someone contributes just enough to get a 3% employer match on a $60,000 salary, that's $1,800 per year from them. Maybe $1,800 from employer. Total $3,600 annually. That's good. But it's not wealth acceleration. Now compare that to someone investing $800 per month consistently. That's $9,600 per year. At 8% annual return over 30 years, the difference becomes hundreds of thousands of dollars. Compounding is not about being flashy. It's about consistency. Scripture says, whoever is faithful with little will be entrusted with much. Compounding is faithfulness in math form. 8, the social media amplifier. Now let's address the elephant in the room, social media. Alan Watts would say we mistake the performance for the person. Instagram is not reality. It is curation. You see the new kitchen, the vacation, the car. You do not see the stress, the overtime, the arguments about money, the credit card statement. Here's what most people don't realize. You are comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. And that comparison is emotionally expensive. Joe Dispenza would say your nervous system doesn't distinguish between real threat and perceived lack. So when you scroll and feel behind, your body responds like you're under attack. That drives impulse. Impulse drives spending. Spending drives debt. Debt drives stress. And stress reinforces the feeling of being behind. It's a loop. 9, the debt machine. Let's talk about the silent engine behind many lifestyles. Consumer debt. Credit card interest rates today often hover around 20 to 25%. You finance a $5,000 vacation at 22%. If you only make minimum payments, that vacation could cost you $7,000 to $8,000 over time. But the photos, they look priceless. Now zoom out. If someone carries $15,000 credit card debt, $30,000 car loan, $400,000 mortgage, they can appear wealthy while being financially fragile. Look, debt is leverage. Leverage magnifies. It can magnify assets. It can also magnify stress. Jesus talked about building on rock versus sand. Debt without margin is sand. It feels solid until pressure comes. 10, the inheritance and head start factor. Now let's talk about something uncomfortable. Some people had a head start. Not everyone, but enough to distort perception. Paid for college, living rent-free for years, down payment gift, cosign mortgage. family business. That doesn't make them bad. It doesn't invalidate effort. But it explains disparity. If two people make $70,000, person A, $60,000 student loans paying rent, no parental support. Person B, no student loans, lives at home for 2 years, gets $20,000 toward down payment. Who accelerates faster? This is where it gets really interesting. Many lifestyles that look self-made are partially subsidized. Again, no shame. But clarity matters because comparison without context creates insecurity. 11. The real question isn't how. Here's the shift. The real question isn't how are they affording it? It's what are they trading for it? Freedom, savings, peace, future flexibility? Abraham Hicks talks about alignment. Alignment financially means your spending matches your values, not your ego. Neville Goddard would say, live from the state you desire. If the desired state is peace, you don't build it with pressure. 12. Let's be honest about you. Now I'm going to pivot this because this is important. Maybe you paid. Foundation speaks. 13. The psychological war. Here's the deeper truth. Most people aren't rich. They're optimized for appearance, and modern culture rewards appearance, but compounding rewards discipline. Joe Dispenza would say, identity precedes behavior. If your identity is, I need to look like I'm winning, you'll spend to prove it. If your identity is, I am building something durable, you'll invest quietly. Jesus said, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. If treasure equals approval, your heart chases approval. If treasure equals stability, your heart builds stability. 14. The math of delayed gratification. Let's do one more example. $1,000 per month car payment for 5 years. That's $60,000. If instead you invested $1,000 per month at 8% for 30 years, you'd have over $1.4 million. Same money, different direction. This is why older Hondas quietly fund retirement and new luxury SUVs quietly delay it. Not always, but often. 15. So what should you do? Now let's get practical. 1. Track your actual net worth. Know your real number. 2. Build margin before flex. Emergency fund first, always. 3. Automate investing. Remove decision fatigue. 4. Reduce lifestyle comparison. Limit social media triggers if necessary. 5. Upgrade income strategically, not impulsively. Skill building compounds. 6. Remember that freedom greater than appearance. Strong clothes look. You are not behind because someone else posted a vacation. You are not behind because someone financed a house at 45% of income. You are not behind because someone's parents helped them. You are only behind
Make sure
if
to
you
hit the
refuse to
subscribe
build.
button and
Here's
give
what
this
most
video
people
a
don't
thumbs up
realize.
if this helps you
Wealth
out.
is quiet.
Because today
Stress
we're going
is
to
loud.
dismantle the
The
illusion,
loud people look rich.
and we're going to do
The
it
quiet
with
people
numbers.
become rich. If
Same
this
money,
helped reframe
different
how you see
direction.
money and lifestyle, hit the like button.
Most people
subscribe,
aren't rich.
and tell me in the
They're
comments,
optimized for appearance.
what's one financial illusion you're done believing?
But you built foundation.
Because faithful
Foundation
stewards
is
don't chase
invisible until it
appearances.
matters.
They build foundations, and foundations compound, and it works.